Hal-Con. You guys having a good time? Despite the crushing disappointment when I wasn't Mitch Pileggi. Sorry. My name is Floyd. I'm going to be the moderator for this Q&A session. And I was just getting to know the guest backstage. He's a lovely man. He's so nice. It's seriously heartwarming. And I'm very excited to welcome Mitch Pileggi to the Hal-Con stage.
Back in Halifax, I was here in March doing a movie, shooting a movie called Polaroid that's coming out December 2nd, and at the time it was so friggin' cold. And I was like, why is this here? and everybody kept saying, oh, it gets really nice in the summer and early fall. I said, well, you'll love it. And here it is. It's gorgeous outside. We've got a beautiful, beautiful town here. Good for you.
One of the things I like about you is, first of all,
only one thing.
Just one. Everything else sucks.
Just met.
But, you know when you try to, friends, right? Like friends, family, they're not, you start talking about something, they're like, right. It's like, doesn't make any sense. I can impress anyone in my life by telling them I'm on stage with you, because obviously X-Files, for which crosses the barrier of geek and normie to some extent. But I can tell my husband you were on Sons of Anarchy, and he's impressed. I can tell my best friend you were on Grey's. I can tell my mom you were on SVU, which is like dead. It's great. It's great. So I get so many bragging rights.
I've been very, very fortunate. It's a blessing.
Well, the way this is gonna work, see, I always need, are we got people lining up here or what? We gonna line up? We gotta line up for questions.
Yeah, no, that's okay. We can take a question.
Can we
get a mic?
Can we get some assistance at the front as well?
I can hear you. What's up?
What a guy.
White supremacist on Sons was interesting. I was saying, I don't know if I told you or something wrong. For the next day, because it takes a little time to put them on and take them off, and I was like, yeah, no, it's okay. I don't want to go home to my 5-6-year-old daughter and a swastika on my neck. She'll go, Daddy, that's so cool. What's that? Very, very interesting character to play. It was because it was hard for me to, when I was doing interviews, I couldn't say, yeah, these white supremacists suck. I was like, these guys are, but because I don't know what's going to happen with a white supremacist, coming to a door and going, hey, dude, what? But then again, some of the dialogue that I had was very racist, and it was great. Over there, you.
Okay. There's a lot, and there's a lot of great characters on the show, obviously. To pick one, I don't know. I mean, like right now, it's like we're doing, there's some great
it's just nuts. I did my first Darren Morgan and Glenn Morgan, believe it or not, episode during these the ones we're shooting now. This was the first time over all the years that I did the X-Files that I was ever. And Darren was, I never knew what to write for Skinner. And so when we were shooting the other day, it was like, okay, I'm gonna let you do one thing, like you're gonna do it, and then I'm gonna tell you what you can do it. And I was like, okay, all right. So I did my okay, now I want you to make it so big, and I was like, oh my God, Darren, I can't do that. And he goes, yeah. So I did one, and I did it really huge, and it was like David Clark came out of there, and he was just laughing his ass off while I'm doing it. And then Darren goes, okay, that was great. Okay, now make it even bigger. I said, dude, this is Skinner. And so anyway, I made it bigger, and then Darren was falling on the ground. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to do, and very different, for Skinner. You know, so it's going to be interesting to see how it turns out.
Thank you.
You bet. But as far as there's a lot of characters. It would be a lot of fun to play on that show. They just do such a wonderful job creating these amazing characters on the show. Hi.
Hi there. I was just wondering, Sons of Anarchy is one of my all-time favorite shows. What was it like to work on Sons and with Kurt Sutter?
It was great. It was I came in intermittently and did episodes. I was doing a lot of other stuff at the time, so they didn't know if they could write for me if I was going to be available. And I wish I'd been able to do more episodes on the show. Kurt was great. Kurt, when I auditioned for the character, when I walked into the office, Kurt was sitting there, and he immediately goes, "I'm a big fan." And invariably, every time I go into a casting session and somebody tells me I'm a big fan, and they're a big fan, because to me it's so ingrained in whatever character I'm a big fan for. This was the case. Theo and I don't see Booney very much, but I haven't seen Charlie in a while. But it's always they're such great people and so much fun to be around. And it was a tough character, but it was a good character.
Yeah, you played him excellently.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Hi.
Hi. Floyd touched on this a bit. You've been in a lot of different genres, not just the geek stuff, the sci-fi and fantasy. Do you have a favorite genre to work in? Are there different challenges, or is acting across the board?
Whichever one pays for it. I don't care about money. I like playing a character that's written well. I like it. It's a good story. It's a good character. I did an episode of Film favorite roles that I've ever done, and it was because it was so different from what I'm usually cast as. It was a very, very broken man. It's probably one of my favorite films. A lot of stuff in it. Watch it myself. But this guy was different. Am I really shiny there?
Squeegee from that stage.
Squeegee or spray? Hi, how are you? Yes. I believe in paranormal activity. I believe in extraterrestrial existence. I believe in Chris. Chris wants to believe. And David's like, whatever. But I do.
Yes.
How many people here do believe in extraterrestrial or believe in paranormal? That's why you're here. Good for you. Okay. You bet. You know what Skinner's so ingrained in me? You know, it's just you know, it's like when we did the last six.
I know you.
The first scene that I had was with
Your
David
past.
walking into his office
Your future.
when he kicked the poster and tore it. And I was like, I don't know if you guys have seen there's a clip of David kicking the poster. Millions of fans are screaming right now. You know, it felt so natural and it felt so right. It felt just, it's like we did it for so long, and those characters. I wish that Nick Lee was still. I wish I hadn't shot him in the head, because I would love to interact with Krychek again. And Nick is a good friend. I'm so sorry that. Yeah, no, he's dead. Just put on like 300 pounds. I didn't do that. It was an illusion.
Illusions, yes. Illusions, yes.
Here's an oldie
I've
but
often
goodie.
wondered if you could
Hold on, Jack.
from people in the
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please put your hands together. The one, the only, Castlevania!
So a lot of But people ask me the dialogue about I love you. but Home is one of my favorites because it's so
We'll see you
sick.
next time.
And I like Clyde Brooklyn's Final Repose with Peter Boyle. I thought he was just brilliant, man. There's a lot of them, and you know, it's funny because I didn't watch the show for years and years and years, and recently I went back and watched a couple episodes, and I was like, oh man, this was for somebody who was in it even. I was like, this was such a good show. It really was good, and it was it really holds up, and that's evident in the fact that when I'm doing these things, I'm meeting kids that are like 10 years old now who are watching the show, and that's 25 years later. That's pretty amazing, you know, to have that happen. So it's for me it's something. It's very it fills me up that I was part of something so special as that.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks a lot. Are you going to be at the soiree tonight?
I'm gonna soiree it up, baby.
Maybe I'll see you there. Thanks.
Yeah. I don't dance, but I don't
Hi.
drink.
So my question is actually about Dallas. And I'm just wondering what it was like to come into a reboot of a show that has so much history with a cast that has worked together for so long. And you'd been in the original for a couple episodes, but you came back as a different character. So I'm just wondering kind of what that was like.
It was awesome. Yeah, I had so much fun playing Harris Ryland on that show, and I got to work with Judith Light as my mother, who's 3 years older than I am. We were trying to play it off that she had a shitload of plastic surgery to make her look so young. But it was so much fun. I got to work with Larry on 4 episodes in the original run of the show, the last season, and that's when I was a very, very young actor and really didn't know a whole lot about what I was doing. And so to be able to be on a set with somebody like Larry Hagman and watch him work and learn from someone like him was a pretty awesome experience. We had just a quick story. We were doing a scene and the director was talking. He was talking to Larry and myself. It was a scene between he and I. And so Larry's standing there, and the director's talking to me, telling me what to, it was my coverage. And so anyway, the director walks away, and Larry's standing there and looks at me and goes, you can tell I was a little nervous. And he goes, don't worry about it, it's going to be on me. Which I love that. I use that line to this day with young actors. I'm like, don't worry about it. The shot's going to be on me. But I thought it was brilliant. But when I came back to do Dallas again, I had when I was living, because I lived in Austin when they shot the original series, and I used to actually drive up to Dallas when they would shoot the exteriors, because they shot everything in all the interiors in the Lorimar lots in Los Angeles, but they would do the exteriors in Dallas. And I would drive up there and I would work background. I would work as an extra. And when I came, we started doing the new series. Linda Gray came up to me the first time, the scene that I had with her. She came up. She goes, "We're so happy to have you on the show." I said, "Darling, I used to stand behind you 25 years ago in crowd scenes." And I said, "Go back and take a look. You're going to see me standing behind you." And she goes, "Oh my Lord." She was a doll. But I had so much fun. I had so much fun playing that. We were really bummed that they pulled the plug on it. But it was new regime took over TNT and bring their own shows in. It was a hoot. We had a good time. Did you like it?
I loved it. So I watched the reruns growing up, so I was really excited when it come back for the reboot.
Yeah. Well, it was great working with Patrick and that whole cast. It was and Patrick Duffy got me to quit smoking. And I owe him so much for that, because to this day, man, I smell people smoking. I'm like, God, and he used to say that. He actually shamed me into smoking. He would say, "You stink. You smell bad." And I started going, "Yeah, I do, don't I?" And I asked my daughter, I said, and we were actually, after I quit, somebody that smokes walked, there's smokers in here, I'm sorry, it's just, you need to quit. You stink. I'm kidding. No, not. But I said to my daughter, somebody walked by that had obviously just had a cigarette, and I turned to my daughter and I said, "Did I smell like that?" And she goes, "Yeah, Daddy, you did." And I'm like, "Baby, I'm so sorry." That she had to grow up around that, and anyway, I'm sorry, smokers.
Thank you.
It's good talking to you.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Excellent.
Good.
I was wondering, when you were first cast as Skinner, did you know whether you were going to be a villain or an ally to the protagonist?
You know, I had no idea. I thought he was brought in as pretty much a roadblock to whatever Mulder and Scully were doing, especially since I had those scenes with CSM in my office, and he and I seemed to be in cahoots. And then I started seeing there was a little bit of shift in the writing. And I think they realized that Mulder and Scully needed an ally within the FBI to help them move forward in what they were doing. And I think that they had been looking for that in other actors that had played their superiors for whatever reason, whether the other actors weren't available to come back and do whatever, I don't know. But they decided to kind of turn him. And it happened. It especially happened. There was one scene in Skinner's office where cigarette smoking man is standing there and Mulder's standing there, and I realized that cigarette smoking man has been tapping his phones, doing stuff that goes against my grain, as Skinner's grain, as his morals and his ethics is like that, because he's a very moral, very ethical man, and he toes the line for the most part, unless he's dealing with the redhead and the other cat. And at one point he realized that he was being manipulated by cigarette smoking man, and he goes, "Get the hell out of my office." The cigarette smoking man thought that I was saying it to Mulder, and then he realized that I was telling him to get out of my office, and that was it. And I think that was the beginning of a wonderful relationship.
Thank you.
How you
Hi.
doing? Hi.
This is a quick question about the Castle episode. Your character that you played on Castle was basically pretending to be your character on X-Files. So I was just wondering, did someone say, "Do you know who we need for this role?" Or
Well,
did you have to read?
Rob Bowman was one of the executive producers. He was one of our on Castle, and he was directing that episode. And he was also one of our executive producers and directors. He directed a lot of episodes of the X-Files, and I had developed a great relationship with him. And he asked me to come and do this, to do that character. It was just a small bit. It was a lot of fun. But I had been going to the set and just to hang out with Rob. And it was the first time that I went. Nathan Fillion was over. He was standing over talking to some other people, and I had no idea, but Nathan was like a huge X-Files fan. And he was like standing there talking to some people, and he kind of was like, he kept like nervously looking over at me, you know. I was talking to Bowman, you know, and then he had to go make a change for the next scene, and he was leaving, and I thought, oh, I should go say hi. And I walked over to him, and he saw me walking towards him, and he immediately came running over towards him. You know, and we talked for a little bit, and I said, man, can you sign something for my daughter, because she's a big fan of the show? And he goes, we just got the new DVD from last season. It's in my trailer. I'll go get it and I'll sign it for you. He literally ran to his trailer and got this DVD and signed it for Sawyer, and then Sawyer went and hung out on the set with them for a while, and he was very sweet to her, but it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun playing that little bit. It was and most of the crew on Castle was our X-Files crew. So for me to go on that set was like being home.
Thank you.
You bet.
Hi there. I'm really happy to have you here. One of my favorite parts of the revival, and also like the second movie, I Want to Believe, was when you showed up, especially for I Want to Believe, because I was really thinking you were going to be in it. So one of the things that
I didn't think I was going to be in it either. Which is that the first one or the second one?
The second one, like with
The dog one?
the art.
Yeah, no, that was one that I had no idea I was going to be in it. I didn't find out I was in it until like halfway through the shoot. And Chris called me and he goes, "Are you ready to come up?" And I was like,
You just
am I getting a time? I'm getting a time thing here.
It's for me. It's okay. It's all right.
Yeah, so anyway, he called and he said, yeah, come on up. So anyway, but I didn't know I was in it until like halfway through it.
Anyway, my question is, one of the things that I didn't find very satisfying about the revival, among other things, obviously, was that we didn't get any kind of inkling about what Skinner had been up to, and he was such a core part of the original series, and it was really disappointing. You had mentioned you're going to be here for the next season. I'm wondering if maybe they're going to get into it a little bit more, if you're able to say.
Yes.
Good.
Yes, they're doing some really, really cool stuff with Skinner, so I'm very excited.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I tell you what happened there with the last 6 was they had so much stuff that they had to accomplish within a short period of time, 6 episodes. They had to bring everybody up to speed, what had been going on. They had to bring all the new people that were watching it, kind of let them in on what the show was about. So there was a lot of, they had to establish a lot of stuff and get a lot of story in real quick. So there just wasn't, and believe me, I gave, especially the Morgans, I gave both of them a lot of shit about not writing for me. That's why I'm in both their episodes this time. But yeah, so it was, I was disappointed, and but I got to hang out in Vancouver for a long period of time and collect a lot of per diem, so it was okay. But yeah. But it's different. It's different this time. They're giving me a lot of really cool stuff to do.
Hi. Welcome
Hi.
to Halifax. I was wondering where you've been on both Supernatural and X-Files, and they both seem to deal a lot with the things that everyone's afraid of. If anything that you've seen in either show really struck home with personal fears, like
Personal fears?
Yeah, like the Weeping Angels scared the crap out of me when I first saw it.
Weeping-
That's Doctor Who, and then there's demons on Supernatural and kind of Monster of the Week sort of feel in X-Files, and I'm wondering if any of them were just really creepy for you personally.
Well, I've just been around it for so long that it's yeah, no. When you hang out with the Peacock brothers on set, it's like.
So zombie apocalypse, you're good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Thank you.
You guys are going to be really where they go from the end of the last 6 episodes to the beginning of these it's a really friggin' cool transition. You guys are going to dig it. I hope you dig it. I thought it was brilliant.
Hi.
I'm not going to tell you. What? What is it?
Hello. My question was, when you got the news about the reboot for the X-Files, were you excited?
Absolutely, always. I'll play this character until I'm 65 years old, and it's like, Skinner's, he should have been retired a long time ago. But, as long as it's feasible for him to come back and play, for me to come back and play this character, I absolutely will. I don't know how everybody else feels about it on the show, but I have a great time doing it. We got a great group of people that we work with, and I can't tell you how blessed I feel to be a part of this amazing.
Thank you so much.
Hey,
I just wanted to ask about, can you share your experiences on Shocker as well as did you anticipate the fan becomes such a cult classic?
Shocker was I had so much fun shooting it. I have a hard time watching it because the character's so over the top. But I had a really good time shooting it and working with Wes Craven. When I went in an audition for the show, I didn't even know that it was a Wes Craven movie. And then I went in to audition for a different role, a smaller role, and then I walked in the room and Wes was like, "No, you should read for Horace Baker." And I was like, "Okay." And then I had the great opportunity of working with Wes a number of times after that. But it's funny because Pete Berg, who's a big director now, and played the character Jonathan in the movie. I saw him recently. I hadn't seen him in a long time, but I went to one of David's doing performing at concerts. He's doing these things. went to one of his shows, and Pete Berg was there, and he was down. I saw him over in the distance in a crowd, and I thought, well, I'm gonna go say hi to Pete. And so I was walking towards him, and as I was walking towards him, he looked at me, and his eyes started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then I stopped, and I go, "Do you remember me?" And he goes, "Mitch." And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "I saw you walking towards me, and I just had this sense of impending doom." He kept thinking, "Horace Pinker's going to kill me again." It was hilarious, but it was good. It was good seeing Pete again. But I had a great time working on it.
Thank you.
You bet.
Hi there. So when I first saw you in Atlantis, I'm sorry to say I didn't like you, but by the end, I really wanted you to be the director. So I was just curious, do you strive for character development, or do you just kind of have like a laissez-faire attitude?
No, yeah. As an actor, I love for a character to develop and to go into new directions, or to, yeah. I love bringing a character to life and giving him making him organic and making him as real as possible, and hopefully they give you the storylines to do that with. If I had a laissez-faire attitude about it, I shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi. I just wanted to say thanks for coming to Hal-Con. I really liked you, I'm a Stargate fan, so I just want to say, you were great in Stargate.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to know if you, had any kind of interesting or, funny stories that happened maybe on the set of, I'm going to say Supernatural or Stargate, because with Supernatural.
Well, I mean, the guys, the boys are children, so they're.
If they did anything that was like, oh my god.
Oh, hey, all the time. I mean, probably Jim's got more stories than I do because I wasn't there as much as he was. But they're two of the best people in the world. Jared, the Chancellor, and Misha. They're amazing people. The things that they do for other people, with everything that they have on their plate. But yeah, they're a lot of fun. They're so much fun. Jared would. We were on set one day, and my wife and daughter were visiting. They were on set, and I was changing my shirt because I had blood on the shirt. I was changing the shirt, and my wife's standing there, and she goes, "You look pretty good." And she goes, "Let's get Jared over here and have him take his shirt off and see." I said I want a divorce. But as we were leaving that day, we were in the van going back to the hotel, getting ready to leave the lot. Jared comes walking off the sound stage. He sees my wife and daughter in the car with me. He's got a T-shirt on. He walks towards the van, and he just goes. I said, "I hate you." Because those guys, they've got a gym and a trailer on the lot. And I walked into it one time, and there was a bench press, and I was like, there were so many plates on it. And I was like, who is throwing this kind of weight around? Well, both of them are. I was like, they're 12. But it's and Stargate. I had a spaceship.
You were awesome on that. When
Thank
I
you,
saw you,
sweetie.
I'm an old X-Files fan, so when I started watching Stargate and I saw you, I'm like, yes.
Yeah, I got to get my
Thank
Captain
you.
Kirk on. You bet.
We are quite low on time, so we can probably take these last two questions if we keep them pretty short.
And one of them, Scully. You look great, darling.
Thank you. Hello
bet.
again. We met at the autographs. So my question today, seeing as the X-Files is so heavily rooted in the paranormal and conspiracy, and you said you're a believer in these things, I'm wondering, did anything spooky ever happen on set?
We shoot at an insane asylum called Riverview. It's a closed down insane asylum, and it's creepy. It's really creepy, and we shoot sometimes until like 4 o'clock in the morning in this place, and it's like you don't go walking around by yourself in the dark in any of these places, because people have seen and heard some really strange things. I have not seen. I mean, it I was going to say it raises the hair on the back of my neck, but it doesn't. Because there's no hair there.
Just came right off.
It's just gone.
So scary.
And her husband's a barber, and I said, well, I don't think you can help me out. Yeah, so I mean, there's some spooky stuff goes on out there. It's creepy. It's really, really, really creepy. Because I mean, like paint's peeling off the wall. It's just got this, and they use it for everything now. There's a lot of shows shoot out there.
Thank you so much. I can't wait to see you in the next season.
Thank you. I can't wait for you to see me.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. You're actually in my favorite episode of Criminal Minds, and I was wondering what was it like filming that episode.
That was the one that I was talking about earlier, and it was. I originally was not cast in the role. They had cast somebody else, and for whatever reason they weren't able to do it. And the director I had worked with on another project. I worked with him on Supernatural, actually. And he called me and asked me if I would come in and do this role, and I was like, I didn't even look at the script. I said, sure, I'd love to work with you again. And then I got the script, and I was like, okay, this is like really so different from anything that I normally play, and I was very, very excited about it. He said, I'm going to give you one direction. He goes, you just have to, because I'm a pretty big physical guy. He goes, you just have to make yourself very small. And I knew what he was saying, because I can't make myself physically smaller, but it was just make this guy small in his psyche and his essence, and that's what I strove to do with this guy, and I think it's probably the most focus as far as prepping myself for a character that I've ever had, and and like I said, I was very, very happy with the results. It was I think it was a heartbreaking role, and my daughter watches it, and every time she watches the end of it, she cries, and it affects me too. And having a daughter and playing that character really helped me get to where I needed to go with him, and it broke my heart.
Thank you.
You bet. You guys, it's been great. I'm sorry, you go ahead.
That's it. I'm just, all I wanted to add was that now every time I'm having a bad day, I'm going to picture Nathan Fillion scurrying excitedly to his trailer, like, 80 Skinner, 80 Skinner, yeah.
He was so geeky, it was hilarious.
It's the cutest thing I've ever pictured. Thank you so much. I think that we've all had a really, really great time here at your Q&A, and we're really excited you could come to Hal-Con.
Thank you all. Thank you all very, very, very much. Have a great time, okay?
Hal-Con.